Hey Dave, how you doing?
Yeah, good, Steve. Thank you very much. How about you?
Very good, thank you. So, welcome to everyone joining us live for our latest Not Just Travel Facebook Live. Lots to go through with you today, as ever. Lots happening in the world of travel. Lots of really good stuff happening. Now, let's start, Dave, by talking about the One Show. Were you watching it Friday evening?
I was, Steve. Yes, as ever. It's a popular program in the Pope household. Yes.
So I wasn't watching it, but I got inundated with text messages from people who were telling me about it because they were talking about travel and they were talking about is it a good time to book travel? And I think the angle was maybe it is, maybe it isn't, till they started interviewing people. Now, did you see the person who'd booked 12 holidays?
I did, Steve, and they were very proud about it too. Yes, I can't remember where they were going, but that was just one of them, and there were others as well that had booked quite a lot. But there was one lady that booked 12 holidays. Yes.
So it just goes to show that everybody's wanting to get away right now. You were just telling me what's the name for it right now? The phrase?
Lockdown fatigue, Steve.
Are you suffering from lockdown fatigue?
Definitely lockdown fatigue and also homeschooling fatigue. I think everyone is struggling probably with a bit of both. I think.
Brilliant. So we're going to hear more about your solution to lockdown fatigue in a bit. So we'll come back to you in a moment, Dave. So thanks very much. So, if you are joining us live, welcome. Thank you. It's great to have you joining us. If you are watching us on repeat, also great to have you here. So, coming up in this live Facebook broadcast, we've got all the latest travel trends. We've got some news, which we'd love to share with you about what's going on. And today's a big day in the UK. If you're watching us in the UK, we've got Prime Minister making an announcement about the next rollout or the next sort of phase of coming out of lockdown, which is exciting for the world of travel. We've got some information about all the latest travel deals, which you need to know about because there are some exceptional ones and we're expecting some changes on that. So you need to be aware of this. Plus, today we're going to be telling you how you can grab yourself £100 of travel vouchers. Not just one person, but two people can be grabbing themselves £100 of travel vouchers to help them with their next booking. So that's all still to come. Plus, we're going to hear about what Dave's doing to beat that lockdown fatigue, which is really exciting. But first, let's head back to Dave to find out more about what's happening in the world of travel right now. So, Dave, over to you.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I've got some great stats for you today. I want to go through, where people are going, where people are booking, and what time of the year they're going for also. So the first, our number one destination, not surprising at the moment, is the UK. And that's ranging from June this year right up till sort of the beginning of next year, peaking in September, August, and July. But also one of the challenges with traveling to the UK for this year is availability. You would have seen it in the press over the last few days. Demand is massive. So if you are thinking of going away to the UK over the next sort of 6 months, then I would try and get something booked as soon as possible. A little bit more about that later. Where else? So Spain also is very popular, predominantly the Canaries. So more for winter sun, sort of September, October onwards, especially around the school holiday period towards the end of October. So Canaries, very popular towards the end of this year, and more generic bookings for the Balearics into 2022. Two destinations that are very popular also for sort of after the sort of summer this year and a bit more of a winter sun, September, October, is Greece and Cyprus. One of the reasons for that is that you would have seen in the press recently that there have been talks about vaccine passports for Greece, and that seems to have driven some demand for those areas. USA is next on our list. New York specifically for winter this year. A lot of people going to New York for New Year, which is very popular. And next year, Florida 2022 is very, very popular. There's a lot of those holidays were released earlier last week. So Florida 2022, very, very popular. And also still Lapland, one of the most popular holidays anywhere ever, but also always in demand. So 2021, if you can find availability for this year, 2022, and also 2023 to Lapland, also being booked right now. And then a few other destinations that are showing interest, the UAE, so Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Italy, and the Maldives. So all sort of spread later this year into 2022. One thing I'm seeing, Steve, sort of for later in the year and next year is what we call more trips of a lifetime. So what people are booking next year seem to be, I think they call it revenge travel. They seem to be booking those trips of a lifetime that maybe they've been waiting for a while. I think we call them blow the inheritance trips as well. A summary, 42% of our bookings are for summer 2021 this year. That includes all those UK bookings as well. 29% of our bookings are for winter 2021 into 2022. People looking for that winter sun would all be wanting some of that. And then 18% for summer 2022. So people booking ahead. And what we're finding is a lot of people booking the holidays for next year first, get that in the bag. And then they're saying, well, this year may well be a little bit more of a last minute market, then I'll book this year's. So they're sort of doing it the other way around. And then to finish off, 58% of our bookings are adult only. We'll get into those in a little bit more detail a little bit later in the broadcast.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dave. Some great stuff there. And of course, I'm a massive fan of the Canaries. Lanzarote is my favourite, and that's always top of the Canaries. That's one of the top places to go right now. People are booking there in their drove. So coming up, we're going to be talking about the news. Dave will be joining me back in a few minutes to talk about what we can expect to see from the Prime Minister's announcements later on today, what that might mean for travel, what you need to be thinking about. If you're watching us right now, I'd love to know if you've booked your next holiday yet. So I can see some people commenting about how they're looking forward to booking, but quick yes or no in the comments box as to whether or not you've actually booked your next holiday, whether it be 2021, 2022, or as Dave said, even 2023 is being booked up right now as people are making the most of those travel deals. So a quick yes or no in the comments box just to let us know if you've booked, just out of curiosity, really, more than anything else. Welcome to everyone who's watching us live as well. So many people, can't mention them all, but I've seen Nicola, Zoe, Thomas, Becky, Fiona, Rod, loads of other people watching us live right now. So thank you for joining us. So coming up in the news right now in the world of travel, some big things happening actually. I saw Emirates today tweeting about the fact they are the first airline to publicly go out and say all of their frontline staff have all been vaccinated, just to give customers that real vote of confidence, or that sort of confidence in booking. Emirates, great airline. If you haven't flown with them, some fantastic routes and destinations, but really pushing forward with that message to say they're safe and secure. All their frontline staff have all been vaccinated. Princess Cruises, I saw have just announced they've launched their 2022-2023 Australia and New Zealand program. So unlikely we're going to see lots of travel to New Zealand and Australia this year, but next year and the year after, the fact that we're seeing operators already announcing that is great news, but also means that they're going to fill up really quick. Popular destination for cruising, Australia. So if you are thinking about it, when cruise lines announce their itineraries, it's always a flurry of activity because people like to book certain cabins on certain decks on certain itineraries to get exactly what they want. That's one of the great things about cruising. You literally can book the exact room you like, get the right view, the right part of the ship, etc. So if that floats your boat, so to speak, then do check out the Princess Cruises' new itineraries for Australia and New Zealand. Talking of cruising, Crystal Cruises have also just announced they are joining Saga with the announcement that they're going to insist on all their passengers having had the vaccine, which again is brilliant news because it gives everyone that sort of vote of confidence in when they go on board the ships, they are going to be nice and safe and secure, which is why so many people are booking cruises right now. Which also fits in, it's almost like I planned what I'm going to say today. 69% of adults over the age of 55, the ideal cruise market, if you like, are planning to take a holiday this year. That's a phenomenal number, and that's showing that people are suffering from that lockdown fatigue, as Dave mentioned, but also factor that into the fact that so many people wanting to get away, there is going to be less availability this year, and it does mean that you do need to think about it. If you haven't already booked, you do need to think about it, because those trips will get booked up really quick. So that's 69% of the over 55 market, and a massive 62% of the over 35 to 54 market are also planning to get away this year. So it'll be exciting to see what Boris reports later. Now, here's a little thought for you. Of course, we're talking about we're wanting to get away, but don't forget about what it's like when you're on holiday at certain places you might be going, let's say the Canary Islands. You're not just competing it with other Brits wanting to grab those sunbeds, are you? So the French, the Germans, the Swiss, the Austrians, they're all reporting strong demand for holidays right now, which again says there's going to be a shortage of demand this year. So that's why people are planning to book up, because they want to get those sunbeds nice and early. So lots happening, lots of good things happening in the world of travel right now. That's just a snapshot. Dave, I'm going to come back to you if I can. Let's just bring you back on screen. Where have you gone? Let me hit the right button. There we go. So
There we go.
Boris is due to make an announcement later on today. There's lots of rumours. It's probably the world's worst kept secret.
Yes.
But what do we think it might mean for the world of travel? What have we learned so far?
Digging around, excuse me, Steve, digging around on the internet, the first thing is hopefully that UK travel can commence in May, which will be great. And hopefully following in June, the overseas travel, whatever that looks like, will be permitted in June. That's what I've been seeing on social reports this morning and over the weekend. So it remains to be seen. And I think also talking about the lockdown fatigue, and also let's not forget the homeschooling fatigue, is that will, I think once children go back to school, hopefully on the 8th of March, I think then there'll be a lot of people with a little bit more time to think about where they're going to travel, I think. So I think it all ties in, but yeah, fingers crossed, hopefully UK in May, and then following in the more overseas in June.
So what do you think that's going to mean for the world of travel in terms of, if there is an announcement later that, we can start to see, maybe not exact dates, but a plan, a rollout of when travel is going to happen? What's that going to mean for things like availability?
Yeah, well, it's very topical anyway at the moment, because as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, UK availability is already quite sparse. So I've seen in the press that certain areas are full for certain months. So there are certain areas in the country that don't have any availability for certain weeks of the year. So that means people will need to be more flexible about where they go if they're going in the UK. The second thing, and I think what I've seen over the last few days, is a surge in bookings for the summer this year. Now, what that's doing, and I'm taking that as, for me as well, as a family of 4 here, we had the conversation that I was worried that if we leave it till a last minute until somebody gives us the green light, I wanted to avoid the stampede. And I think that's what people are doing. As long as we're booking holidays where we have a peace of mind and we have a flexible condition, I don't mean that sort of condition, but you know what I mean, flexible booking conditions, then I think it's okay. Where for Greece or for the Lanzarote for August as a family with children. Now, I think then we get in before that rush. There's up to £500 off at the moment for families, and the availability is there, so you can sort of have your pick. If you leave it potentially even until, dare I say, tomorrow, you could find tonight, tomorrow, the messaging could drive interest in summer. But I think as long as you've got that peace of mind, Steve, I think that's what I've seen people do. It's the fear of missing out. And I think, well, I'm not going to sit and wait because everyone's going to do that, and then it's a race to the end.
Absolutely. Right. We'll be back to you in a minute, Dave. Let me just share some other thoughts on holidays. So a big thing for not just travel right now, we're seeing a huge surge in people booking, like Dave said, for next year. And at the moment, more than ever, we're seeing a big rush on the Caribbean. Destinations such as St. Lucia, Barbados, Mexico, Antigua are just a few of the destinations which are really strong. And the reason being is our low £59 deposits, which we're running through till the end of this month, February. So only a few more days on this. So book a holiday to the Caribbean, I should say. Pay just a £59 per person deposit, and you could be grabbing yourself a holiday for later this year to the Caribbean into next year. Check out our website for more details, www.notjusttravel.com, and some great holiday destinations. For example, Dom Rep, 10 nights in the Dom Rep at the Bahia Principe. Fantastic hotel, 10 nights, normally £1,365, but £59 deposit, and then just £145 low monthly payments, and you can be going away next winter, January. Fantastic time to be going away to the Dom Rep. So that's just one of the great deals we have. That's 10 nights with just a £59 deposit. Can't believe anyone would not want to be booking a holiday right now to the Caribbean. I know I will, and I definitely would like to. So that's just one of the great destinations we're featuring right now. Talk to your Not Just Travel personal travel consultant, your award-winning Not Just Travel consultant, I should say, for more details. Dave, now we may have picked up on some of the bits already in terms of staycations and top spots. Anything else to say on those?
Yeah. For the UK, the usual top spots are Cornwall, Devon, East Coast, sort of Norfolk. The Norfolk coast is always very, very popular, but also Scotland for those that want to get away from it all. Then Scotland is always very, very popular. One thing I'm also seeing, Steve, is especially for later in the year, well, and summer as well, not just multi-generational travel, because let's be honest, during this period, there's a lot of families that haven't seen each other, a lot of friends that haven't seen each other. So we're seeing an increase in multi-generational travel, but also multi-family travel at specific times of the year. A lot of those sort of for later in the year, October, half term, Christmas, and New Year. And what we're seeing is people booking big rental properties with sort of 10, 12 bedrooms, and then just having a real big family party. I mean, why wouldn't we? So that's a really interesting, and on the outset, it may look quite expensive for a property when you break it down with number of people. It's very, very affordable and a great way of getting back together. So yeah, multi-generational, multi-family, Steve, we're seeing for the UK through this year. And if we look at where the value is, I was talking earlier about summer holidays in August. Looking where the value is, then Greece, and very specifically Lanzarote, that's where the value is for families and couples and singles that are traveling in the school holidays, with my research over the weekend, of course.
How long have I been speaking on mute, Dave?
I didn't know you were on mute, Steve. I just thought I'd lost sound.
Oh. So, apologies, I can't remember everything I just said there. So, I think I was saying that if, we were talking before we came on air about the urgency and the requirement for the need for booking the UK, because as soon as Boris makes the announcement that we're going to be coming out of lockdown, it is going to be a real sense of urgency to get places booked. I was looking online for a holiday I wanted to do end of August, last week of August, that bank holiday before kids go back to school, take my niece and nephew away. And I was looking at a particular resort in North Devon, place I want to go to. And I'm not going to say the name because I don't want anyone to go and book it. literally was just one particular lodge left that I wanted to book. So I'm going to go and do it straight after this Facebook Live,
Yeah.
and get it booked because it is really important.
Yeah. But also, after sort of 3:30 or after 4 o'clock today, if the Prime Minister says, "Oh yeah, we can start travelling from May onwards in the UK," you can guarantee there'll be a stampede, Steve.
Absolutely. Right, so one last thing to finish on, and that is the competition we promised you. So thank you to everyone who's stayed to the end, especially while I was muted. So if you'd like to win yourself £100 of travel vouchers, we've got 2 of these prizes to give away in the next week. All you have to do is go and find your personal travel consultant online at notjusttravel.com. Search for your local or your preferred personal travel consultant, make a new travel inquiry for a new holiday, and it's got to be a package holiday, okay, so flight and hotel, and you could be in a chance of winning £100. You don't have to book anything, but you have to make the inquiry using your phone number and an email address, because we need to be able to phone you to tell you that you've won the prize. If you book, you can still have that discounted off your holiday, so don't worry, or you can use those vouchers off a future booking. So dead simple, make an inquiry with your personal travel consultant. You'll go in the draw to win £100 of travel vouchers. 2 lucky winners. We'll announce them on next week's Facebook Live at 12:30. So you got until 11 o'clock next Monday to go in the draw. Then we'll pick the winner live at 12:30 on the next Facebook Live. Brilliant. So massive thanks, Dave, for joining me today.
That's good, Steve. Thank you.
And remember, if you are looking for your personal travel consultant, head on over to notjusttravel.com, search for your personal travel consultant, your award-winning personal travel consultant. They're there to help you answer any questions, give you free quotes, and give you all the advice you need to help you book your next holiday, whether it be for 2022, 2023, or for a last-minute booking for later this year. Brilliant. Thank you for everyone for joining us, and thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Steve.